The best thing about Max is that he's not just a quintessential cookie-cutting hero. In much the way, an anti-hero. He's an interesting hero because he has a lot of baggage, as it were. There's a lot of things that don't meet the eye. Initially, with him, he's a sort of a cauldron of neurosis, as it were, and problems, and real-world problems, and sadness, and he's an interesting hero to play. George decided that he was a kind of wolf, Max, and so or a bit of a wild dog. So the physical life for Max, and there's a transition for Max. Max starts out as a beast in the wilderness, and monosyllabic, can't talk, doesn't know his own voice, hasn't spoken apart from the voices in his head. So he's a creature of the wilderness. And then as he's chased down, he's feral. He then, on escaping his situation and meeting Furiosa, he becomes more and more syllabic, slowly, finds his voice. Max is all about, from a character point of view, a man who's got a tremendous amount of trauma and horror in his life, who wants to be left alone, who gets snatched up by somebody who makes him part of their livestock and assets. He becomes an object to them. And all he wants to do is go home, but he doesn't have a home, and he's going mad. And so he's got to get away, and in getting away, people want him back, and he just wants to get further and further and further away to get home, wherever home is. But it's not here, because wherever he touches turns to death and sadness and just misery. So in meeting the girls and meeting Furiosa, it can't end well. Nothing's good and everything hurts out there. And that's what Furiosa says to them. Everything is painful, everything hurts out here. And that's what, they're very similar characters. And of course they meet, and of course there's a relationship, an unspoken understanding and a recognition. It's not just your run-of-the-mill action movie at all, by any means. George was taking pretty high concepts and delivering them at high octane, fast cuts, big explosions, huge stunts level. He's created something which is an epic, blockbuster and franchise movie, which has been laced with huge amount of thought and care and all of his own making. What's fantastic about this, and let's not forget that the story is everything, but it's a very small and essential part of what is one of the most dynamic visual spectaculars I've ever seen. And that's also what we knew going in, was that this wasn't going to be a run-of-the-mill big movie. It's just going to be rock and roll. And it was going to reinvent the wheel for the action movie in many ways, because I think George kind of gave birth to the road movie.